Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Los Angeles Lakers do have basketball games to play, even though it's so much going on with them. At the same time, there is a lot of basketball still left to play, probably about 18 games worth. So San Antonio is up next. We're going to be at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas tonight. And, the momentum is very high for this team, obviously. LeBron James coming off of his historic 56-point game against the Warriors, where he helped us get the victory there in fantastic fashion, of course. And he had some help from some of his guys, man. Obviously, we got some defensive play out of Carmelo Anthony and Austin Reeves, and who else chipped in pretty good? I'd say pretty much everybody chipped in very well. Malik Monk needs to be mentioned in regards to that. You just love the effort that the team came out with in doing everything necessary to compete, despite being at a disadvantage in a number of areas. We took advantage of the fact that they went up against a Golden State Warriors team that had some players kind of not playing like themselves, a little bit of a slump in and out of the lineup, things of that nature. And, fantastic win. Now, do I think the Lakers will win tonight? I never think the Lakers are going to win. You guys know that. I didn't think we were going to win the Warrior game, and I'm certainly not going to put any money on us winning tonight. However, what I will say is this San Antonio team is a bit banged up themselves, and I have a few players that are either going to be sitting because of injury or are going to try to play through it. So we'll talk about that here. Keita Bates-Diop will be out tonight. Devin Vassell will be doubtful tonight. And Lonnie Walker is the guy I was telling you who's probably going to be trying to play through injury. He's not listed as injured, but was in the previous game with a sore back and played pretty poorly, from what I understand. So keep an eye on him. If he does go and that back starts to tighten up, we can definitely try to target him and try to see if we can take advantage of him defensively. So hopefully that'll be on the scouting report tonight. So this San Antonio team, as is, it's already very thin. However, do not allow that to let you think that you can play small ball against them and have success. This is sort of like they're constructed in a way like Miami and Philly, in a sense, and I say this in a sense that they have a starting center that can play 40 minutes and be a star at that position. But after that, they don't really have a backup right now. And if you notice in those two situations I just mentioned, that's exactly what it is. They, now that the Drummond's been traded away from Philly, they don't really have a backup over there like that. If after Joel goes down, that's it. They're a little small. So this is the situation you got going on here with San Antonio as well. They do have Podol, who you'll have to deal with, and Collins, of whom you can say is a center, but I like playing him at the 4. He's good at both positions, really. That's their bigs. They got one of our guys, Devontae Kaycock, is on this squad, but he's listed as out tonight. And they have a guy like Kelvin Johnson playing the 4 spot. So this is a team that tends to run the floor. Obviously, we know San Antonio very well. They got a lot of young guys, and two of the most important ones in Vassell and Walker may be either out or limited. So we are going to see a lot of Doug McDermott, a whole lot of Josh Primo, obviously, as I said, Keldon Johnson, and of course, DeJounte Murray, the all-star, of whom I think is fantastic, has developed into exactly what I thought he would turn into, and he's a superstar, dude. I don't know what to tell y'all. he's a superstar. It's not a situation where I look at him as anything less. He's coming into his own. And as he does, people will start to realize that wasn't his first and only all-star appearance. He's going to be making plenty of those in his future. The thing about this kid that I've always understood is the only thing he really wasn't that great at was shooting the ball. Now that his jump start is starting to come around, he's been working on it for the last several years. He pretty much doesn't have any weaknesses at all. He's a fantastic defensive player. He doesn't get enough conversation about how well of a player he is on that side of the ball, by the way. They don't mention him enough. He is really elite on that side of the ball. And then you talk about what he's able to do in transition. In the open court, you already know he's deadly. He finishes with both hands. He can pretty much, contort his body in any way necessary. Extremely athletic, fast as hell. This is somebody who you'll have to deal with no matter what. And I think this is one of those nights where you can definitely see him filling up the stat sheet, especially with several players out. It's going to be him driving at the rim and doing what it is that he does at a high rate against us this evening. So I don't see too many scenarios where he doesn't go completely and utterly off on us. Keep an eye on Kelvin Johnson once again, because Kelvin Johnson is a player who's going to have his minutes up more so than usual with the absence of a couple of those guys. And because of it, you can expect him to do what he does very well. He shoots the three, and he rebounds like crazy, on top of the fact that he's an extremely athletic guy. And so you understand that Keldon Johnson's going to be another one of those fast wings that they have on this team that's going to keep coming at you. Josh Primo, from what I understand, he's been getting more minutes as this season has progressed. This is an extremely young rookie that one would think would probably be buried behind everybody on the bench just off of the sheer notion that this is Popovich. But to be honest with you, the kid is so smooth and so advanced in his offensive ability that coach is playing him. And I'm not surprised at all. After doing a little research on that kid early on during the draft process, it wasn't a whole lot of footage on him, but it was obvious through all the scouting that was said that this kid effortlessly scores the ball. So he's one of them young gunners, man. He's only about 19 years old. You expect to see him develop into whatever he's going to be over the next 5-6 years. But in my mind, I think of a guy like Devin Booker when I think about this kid, because Devin was so very young when he came into the league, but he had some of these same type of skills, same ability. And, it was so early for Devin Booker, but you could already see early on that he could score extremely well. I think the same about Josh Primo. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a career high tonight against us. A lackadaisical defense. He's coming into his own in terms of the minutes, and he's running into this defense at the exact same time. So this game is poised with him having teammates missing with injury. This is a game that you would expect him to get some opportunities to shine bright, especially since it's a game at home. So, yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on him tonight as well. Doug McDermott is always a guy who plays well. Any given night, he can give you a pretty good game. Most of the time, he's just consistent, a role player kind of guy. But since guys are missing in his position, keep an eye open for him. Also, a guy that I've been high on for a little while now, Romeo Langford. They just picked him up from Boston. I don't know how things are going. They also got Josh Richardson as well. So both of those guys I expect to see tonight, given the fact that Keita Bates, Job, and Vassell are most definitely either doubtful or out. You would definitely expect to see Richardson and Langford at some point tonight. You definitely look at this San Antonio team and understand that they have so many young wings and forwards, and it's just a situation where they have a log jam, so to speak. So even with those players missing, they're still going to be able to fill those spots rather easily. Shouldn't be an issue. So, yeah, that's what I think of the opponent. Now, us, I'm just hopeful that we can continue what I saw in terms of guys going youthful, just in general, just putting more young guys on the floor. We went heavy on the young guys in the last game, and it was no coincidence that we happened to win. The pace was fast, and LeBron James was able to score quite a bit playing with those young players more so. At the end of the day, we tend to just lean on dinosaurs so often, and I love the fact that this team is seeing the need to switch gears right now. Austin Reeves, I think you can argue he had his best game of the season this previous game. He was just doing everything necessary on both sides of the floor to help his team win, including drawing fouls. As I always say, this is one of the best charge drawers. I don't even know how to say that, but charge drawers, offensive foul creators in the league already. He's like a young Derek Fisher in that way. You know how easily Derek would draw them fouls and flop back and all that? This kid is gifted. He's extremely gifted at looking as if he's actually being hit. There are fewer players in this league that act better than Austin Reeves. You think about Marcus Smart. You think about all these wonderful flop artists, LeBron James. This kid is one of them. And he might be better than most of them. I'm telling you, just keep watching for that, because he'll draw them fouls. Malik Monk's defense has stepped up so much. Previously in this last game, he had 3 steals. He's helping his team. His athleticism is really starting to pop off the screen. He's showing that he can do other things. And I'm just loving where his game is headed. And I'm just very sorry that I don't see the Lakers signing him, having the money to re-sign him. But if he's willing to stay, I would love to see that happen, because this is a guy who can do a lot more than just shoot. He's a nice playmaker. He has a pretty good handle. He jumps outside the gym. I had no idea he had that type of boosties. And just overall, you just see the basketball IQ. He's very young. It's only, year 4 for him, year 5 right now. He's definitely getting an opportunity to show what he can do. And I think another game like tonight, coming off the type of game that he had this against the Warriors, I think another road opportunity would be a great showcase for him to continue raising his value and giving himself an opportunity to get some big money. So I look at a night like tonight against a kind of lackadaisical San Antonio defense as a night where if I'm Malik Monk, I'm licking my chops. I'm going for 30 tonight, straight up. This is one of them nights where it's like, this is how I make my money. When I go off against a team like San Antonio on the road. So, yeah, I'm looking at Malik Monk saying, I hope he sees this opportunity, because I think this is one of them ones. THT, his minutes are kind of down. His shot is starting to fall more. So I don't like those two things being in correlation with one another. Since his mechanics are starting to come around, we definitely need to vamp up his minutes. I understand that it's hard to find good lineups with him, because you have to play Russell Westbrook 30-something minutes, and I really hate the idea of both of them being on the floor at the same time, as you guys know. But we have to find a way to keep him on the floor more so than the minutes he's been given. I want to see him out there for 30 plus. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I know how bad. I'm not fooling you guys into thinking that I believe it's a good idea for every team to play THT 30 minutes a game right now. No, but us, a tanking team that doesn't really have anything to play for, who needs to raise the trade value of a player like THT, who needs him to get more playing time under his belt, more basketball experience under his belt, it's time. You paid him all that money. Now you have a losing season on your hand with 20 free games, basically. Nothing to lose. Get him out there. I don't know if you start him, because I kind of like what we did in that starting lineup at the previous game. But you play him the 6 man's minutes. 28, 30 plus minutes. Whatever he does, it's just footage for us to continue to use to help him be better. That's how I look at it. I don't care that he makes mistakes. It's just more footage to go over with him. So give him that minutes and coach this kid up, man. THT, I'm not going to accept, as a Laker fan, I'm not going to accept that we are looking at THT's contract as a bad contract in year 1. No, because what that does is absolves the Laker organization from developing that kid. That's what that does. When you get to say, oh, no, we paid him too much, ship him out. No. You paid him what he probably will be worth if you develop him properly. And that is on you, Lakers. You do that. That's where I'm at with it. Because everything else that we've done has been a mistake. But that's an unknown. First of all, we haven't put him in the right positions to be successful. Second of all, y'all knew damn well it was too early to pay him that. You hadn't played him enough to see if he was worth that yet. You were just going by the fact that his metrics were crazy. And I understand that, because players like that don't come around too often. However, you got to teach them how to play ball too. You can't just say, oh, that's a great body and run with that. No, you got to teach them how to play ball. And that is up to the Los Angeles Lakers organization to focus in and do. And I'm thinking this is the perfect time to do it. Send him out there, put him in all different types of various situations and lineups. And I look at it like this. This is going to sound crazy and stupid, and it is. But if we're going to try putting Carmelo Anthony at the center, why the hell aren't you wanting THT at the center? I like him better in that situation than Melo. And granted, THT makes horrible defensive reads. I'm not saying he's a good defender. But he's probably more capable than Melo in this situation. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's younger. And he does have those metrics. So, all I'm saying is if you're trying to find more reasons and more things to try, since Coach thinks that he's tried everything, trust me, you have not tried everything. I've seen a million different things you haven't tried, and quite frankly, you've been rather consistent with what I've seen out there. So all this talk about, we've tried everything, nothing's working, bull crap, I can think of plenty of things you haven't tried, and I've suggested them in the last 40, 50 videos that I've made. That being said, I think the Lakers have an opportunity to win tonight. San Antonio Spurs are a limping team. They're a tanking team. And although they're a team with an all-star, they're still not yet a team that knows how to win. And those are young players who scrap it out. And I'll tell you this about them. They've been in some pretty close games lately. You look at that San Antonio team, they had a double overtime game against the Washington Wizards not too long ago. And if I'm not mistaken, they came out of that game, I want to say the victors. Not too sure about that. But the point is, they pushed them boys to double overtime. This is a team that has a lot of juice in their back pocket. They're young. They can run. DeJounte Murray is one of the best conditioned athletes in the game. And you're going to have to understand early that if he gets out to an early start, he can keep that up. If he gets off hot early, he can keep it up. So don't take him lightly. Don't be afraid to double him. That's what I'll say. Don't be afraid to double that dude, because he has the ability to put up MVP-like numbers. He's done it already a couple times this season. He's shown us glimpses of that level. He has it. And this is the right type of defense for him to go up against to do that type of thing tonight. I'm talking 35 points, 15 assists type stuff. Chris Paul numbers. He can do that. Be prepared. I'm not saying he's going to, but he is very capable of that. So, that's what it is, man. Los Angeles Lakers left me very, very happy about the outcome of the last game. We still ran the small ball crap. I didn't think it worked. We were down for a lot of the game, and I understand that that's just going to be what it is. Being that we only have one center rostered, we're going to have to continue to get better at the small ball. Everyone has to play better at their various duties, and I think guys are getting better at that. Unfortunately, they're forced to, but that's just what it is. We're a Minnie Mouse kind of team, and we need to be fast out there. And I think that's what I was thinking about earlier as I was thinking about this team. If we're going to run small ball, you got to be faster than another team. We can't run small ball, be questionable at spacing the floor, and be slow-footed. That just defeats the purpose of everything about small ball that's supposed to help you. You want to put the type of lineup that we had on the floor against the Warriors, rather. You want to have that lineup on the floor for those small ball type of situations. Austin Reeves, Malik Monk, LeBron James, THT. More of that will get it done. Fast-footed players that can get out in the open court. Of course, Russell Westbrook would be a part of that, but I just don't trust him. I don't trust Russell Westbrook. Hall of Fame player. I know this isn't some hot take. I'm sure 100% of Laker Nation feels this way right now, but that's just what it is. I don't trust the man, I can't. He is the epitome of the type of player that I would want in this type of situation. But the version he is right now is the great antithesis of the person that I've known him to be from afar. So whoever this player is, I don't want him on the floor for us very often. But the Russell Westbrook that played for the OKC Thunder, the guy that was with the Washington Wizards last year, yes, he would fit in that mold of what it is that I just referred to. But I'm sorry, this guy, this Russie, we can't use him. He's unplayable. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Russell would agree if he were to get far enough away from this to not be in it. He would agree that this version of himself is unplayable. And he has to dig deep and figure out why that is. Why this bad fit brought the worst out of him. Because that's unique in and of itself. I can understand not fitting somewhere. But to be completely incompetent, completely out of sorts, off rhythm with everyone, that's something that is unprecedented. I would love to know how far he's fallen from last season to this season statistically. That's a curious thing for me, because I'm willing to bet that it's historic. I'm sure it's historic, but maybe not, But I can tell you this: he's been as least effective as any star player's ever been for our team. About as little effective as anyone. So with that being said, I'm hoping he starts turning that round tonight. I understand that. His name's been in the media a little bit because Skip Bayless and Mrs. Westbrook, his wife, has kind of gone in the back and forth, which ain't surprising because Westbrook has been taking a lot of heat from Skip. Obviously, as I've mentioned on this camera, seemed like it gets to a point where it's like, all right, we heard this all year long, we've been seeing the blooper reels all year long. At some point in time, it's not surprising um, to see this. And so, um, that's all I got to say about that. That's it. But at the end of the day, I would think that something like that might light a fire underneath Russell Westbrook and have him play better than maybe he normally would. Um, I hope so. I hope so. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but this team is still within a striking distance of a playing tournament situation. That's exactly how far the West has fallen off this season. I don't know if anybody really wants to talk about it, but the Western Conference has fallen off a cliff, and everybody has pretty much moved back east, and the better conference is definitely out there. So because of it, the Lakers have an opportunity. This is the type of game you need to win tonight. We have 3 soft games. I'm not saying they're really soft games, but we got the Wizards coming up, and I'm not sure who we play after that, or it's another game that you think we might be able to win. It would be imperative if the Lakers can get hot and take that 56-point game from LeBron James and carry it over to this. This is one of those games you have to win. You know what I'm saying? You have to win this game. So, I don't have a whole lot of hope. Small ball is definitely in our future, and Podol should eat a lot because of it. Kelvin Johnson and Podol are going to out-rebound us. That's understood. I think at the end of the day, what you just want to be able to do is somehow outrun a faster and younger team. And so slowing down the pace against the San Antonio Spurs might be the best bet. But then again, they have the bigger rebounding player in Podol down there who will make things difficult if we do that. So from a strategic standpoint, this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one because you don't want to run smaller against a team who has better small ball lineups on the floor. And that's exactly what they'll have. Whether they keep Podol on the floor or not, they have small ball lineups that can match up with us and probably give us fits. So we're going to need LeBron to do what he did in that last game. Keep scoring, man. Keep scoring, because I think that's what's going to be the key. San Antonio's not the type of team that's going to put it on you like that. They're a young squad. They're going to try to, do their best, but they'll probably lose if you apply pressure properly. So that's what we'll need to do. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Frank Vogel, still here. I don't know why. I don't. He should be fired. I'm just gonna let it be. Obviously they're gonna wait until the end of the season, but for what? I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, that's what I gotta say, man. My name is BDF44. Everybody enjoy the Spur game at 5:30 Pacific time, at 8:30 Eastern, and that's what I got, man. Peace.